welcome everyone to Voice of Liberta, where we begin a journey to uncover your true calling of your heart. Liberate your inner voice and find your true happiness. This is my main message for everyone who listening us together. And I truly, sincerely believe that finding the true calling of our hearts is the key to our happiness, to abundance and wholeness in all areas in our life. Voice of Liberta goal is sincerely tell true stories of people who overcome many obstacles in their life. I would like to inspire and encourage everyone to define their success on their own terms by their unique journey and accomplishing their own goals without comparing with no one. So thank you very much for listening us, and I'm so excited today to present you my dear guest Steffi, and I really looking forward to hear her story. So I hope that Steffi tells you today a lot about herself and what she's doing, because she's an amazing person, and I felt just from the first message that I got and invited the guest to Steffi, I found so amazing words about you. Your goal is to help people find essence in our pure beauty. Amazing story from Belgium to Peru. How that happens, Steffi? Can you tell about yourself, and please feel free to represent you what you're doing, because it's amazing how you sounds intuitive artist. Explain us, please. Sorry for too many questions in the beginning, but just I will be quiet now.
Thank you so much for your questions and for opening the space also to be able to share my voice. I'm very happy and honored to be here. So my name is Steffi, and I was born in Belgium, but I decided to emigrate to Peru in April 2021. I had been traveling before, so it wasn't my first time in Latin America. So I had gotten to know a little bit the culture, the people, how they live. I had seen like beautiful, beautiful landscapes. I had had amazing experiences. And, at some point, it was actually 2020 when I received a message from my inner world saying that it was time for me to move to Peru. And for most people, that might sound a bit crazy. And, but for me, it felt very natural. And I think that the inner voice in the end is a very natural thing. When we listen closely, when we're very well connected to ourselves, our heart and our soul, we are more able to listen and to really detect this inner voice, which can be very subtle, but it's very true and authentic, and in the end very natural. So when I felt this, I took action, and I took a lot of steps to actually bring myself here to Peru, where I now live, live my life. And yes, it was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, maybe the most rewarding thing. So yeah, and I had been in Belgium. I had been working as a psychologist. I was trained as a clinical psychologist, but bit by bit, I actually, as I also started my own healing journey and continued it for many years, and now I'm still on that journey, obviously. I say obviously because I think it never really completely ends. You continue to connect with yourself more deeply and heal yourself. So, as I went on that journey, continued to be on that journey, I felt that my sessions with people were more and more heart-centered, and we went into that human connection, and, it would become more alternative, not just looking at, diagnosis and which I very much respect, but I would let go more and more of the category, so to speak, and really connect on a more human level. And so now I call myself a holistic psychologist, because I try to really incorporate, like mind, heart, body, spirit, all of these aspects. And then, as you mentioned, like intuitive art. So I'm also an intuitive artist, which means that, and I think this is within all of us, this intuitive art. We all have intuition, we have our instinct. We all have hearts, we all have souls, and so we can really connect with ourselves on a deeper level, and we can create, we can do art, whatever that looks like, whether it's like, drawing or gardening or cooking or painting or writing, dancing, whatever it is, and we can really, from that place, um, we can create, and as we create, we actually allow our inner voice to come out bit by bit, and that's how I go about it. And the way I personally started on this journey is it really became more deep in 2017. I remember when I was going through a very, very, very challenging period in my life. And all of a sudden, it was this spark again of the inner voice, like I needed to get like some painting tools. I felt like I need to paint, and I didn't know why. Like my mind was like, not sure about it, but I felt it in my heart and soul. So I got like all of the paint supplies, and I just start to paint, but from like a deep place, without knowing beforehand what am I going to create, without thinking, oh, I want to paint a flower, which obviously is also very beautiful. You who have like a very deep connection with flowers as well, which is amazing, but what I was more inclined to do was to connect perhaps with a flower that I see, that I very much connect with, that I love, and then try to feel like, what does this provoke inside of me, and then paint from that energy, from that feeling. And then the painting won't look like an actual flower, but it will represent the energy that I feel. How does it move me? And that's what I then project onto the canvas.
It sounds really amazing, even your journey and what you experiment and experienced for yourself. And as you said, everything is now like feeling as an energy, like flower, painting, or colors. Then you just living, running around, you don't think about these things so deep. Everything around us, like trees, everything is energy, and ourselves vibrating, some positive or negative energy as well. So it's I think all these tools, what you're saying, like painting or going deep in yourself, first of all, helping us to understand our own energy level, or maybe we should say like boost our energy level. Because if I'm taking more inspiration or taking some actions to do like painting, listening music, classical music, as you said, like yoga classes, and you trying to calm down yourself, your minds, and after that just boost your energy to go through life with positivity. What do you think, how this energy boost is coming to us through the painting, or what else you're doing? I know that you're doing yoga, as you said.
Yeah, I think that for everybody it will be a little bit different. Some people enjoy, which I also enjoy, going out in nature, for example.
Yeah.
Connecting with the plants, the earth. Maybe step barefoot onto the earth and really feeling it, or looking at flowers. Taking in that beauty, and then some people get energy from that. Others feel more empowered when they they cook a meal, and they, so I think it's very personal. For me, yoga helps a lot. It's amazing. Also, painting can give me a lot of energy depending on the colors I use. For example, if I want to boost my energy, if I want to boost my inner power, I will go to the colors of the lower chakras, for example, and I will use like red and orange and yellow. It can be very bright.
I understand that, because it's very related, these colors, with the flowers as well. Okay. Yes, Steffi, you told me your very interesting journey from Belgium to Peru at the moment. And I hope that you're enjoying this nice weather at the moment there. What's the temperature?
Oh, good question. I would say it feels like 17 degrees, more or less.
Oh,
More
it
or
still
less.
is much warmer than in UK. That's why, I got this so proud because it's very changeable and a lot of rain. We had a lot of the floods. So anyway, as our listeners understood, we both are immigrants. I'm originally from Lithuania and 10 years living in UK. So we had a lot of challenges to overcome, traveling or changing our workplace and changing our friend circles probably as well, because life happens naturally. So tell me, please, what was the hardest thing for you to move from your native country, from your probably comfortable circle, if I may ask?
Hmm. I think one of the challenges for me was to tell my family, I guess, and hoping for their acceptance of my choice, because in that moment I was still very attached to, what they would feel about it, how they would feel about it. Or I guess that was a bit hard for me. And it was not so well received by everybody in the family, which is also understandable. But I guess that was really like the trickiest part, like in that moment. Yeah.
Understandable. But can you share with us what was the note like final point which like makes you, or you just click that you just need to go. You said that you understand that you would like to be there, but why you started looking to go and settle down somewhere? What was that point, moving point?
Yeah, I think, I had been feeling it for years, that I just couldn't thrive. That's actually the word, I think, in the system that I was living in. And I guess I tried to fit in a way. I tried to fit in. I tried to kind of continue in the way that I thought I should continue, but I wasn't feeling happy. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. It was a struggle. And I just felt like I needed to be closer to nature. Um, I needed a much slower life rhythm in which I live now, but in Europe, it was just very, very, very different. I was also struggling financially very much. Um, I just couldn't keep up. There was something in the energy that I just could not, I just couldn't be myself in a way. And also because I felt like the inner calling to continue to heal myself. And I think that I also needed to go to a very different place, not to escape, but to actually be able to look at some things, in a more free way, like kind of detaching in a healthy way from an environment where some of those wounds actually arose in the first place. And then being able to be far away from that physically, geographically, to feel safe enough, to actually interact with those wounds and actually heal. I think that was kind of what moved me, literally. Yeah, helped me move to Peru.
Is very deep reasons. Um, and I feel you what you're telling, about this inner research, because I went through that path already being as an immigrant here, because my reason, first of all, why I left my native country was my divorce, first of all, and I would wanted financial stability, like not just counting pennies. And the reason, first of all, was to come here in UK to earn money to buy from my ex-husband house, and that's it. So that's I was working so much, and 2-3 jobs in the beginning in London until I can buy my own house to secure, first of all, like surrounding for my children. And I just completely forgot myself. I just throw myself into work, and look at me how I ended, finally. So I was completely burned out, and I started looked away. I felt innerly, as you said, my heart was screaming inside. That's why what you're doing, just stop, look at your heart, overworking, not looking after yourself, but I was not listening. I was like deaf, and I just, everyone in my life was priority except myself. And that's why, universe knocked me twice, that financially, emotionally, splitting another relationship. So, but still I was not, okay, a little bit more, Vaida, push yourself a little bit more, and you can do that. So, and yeah, I reached that final point. Sorry. And I completely burned out. What I needed to face, they opened my heart, and I understood that I'm in the wrong path. And if you cannot, love yourself enough, you cannot be good enough for other people as well. Like, this expression that you cannot pour from empty glass. You need to be full. I'm really happy that I find out the way to hear my heart. I left, that big corporation. I started studying flowers therapy. Then I was screaming innerly and was so upset and tired. I was always going to the nature. If they're helping me to heal, if my soul is smiling, looking at them, no matter that it's very hard. So it should be the way to help other people as well. So I started research. I'm really, really understand how is important to listen your inner voice, because sometimes we're just screaming and damaging ourselves. Why this voice of Liberta? Because so many years I was just squeezing everything inside me, and now is the time to share and encourage other people. Other people, don't suffer, don't be alone, don't burn out ourselves. Just do something, for your soul. Be happy. You connecting everything in your sessions, or how it is works for people, how you helping them?
Yes. So yeah, I like looking at it in a holistic way. So, but it very much depends on what the consultant or the person, needs. And not everybody is as open to all of the tools that I use. So I kind of navigate and see, where's there open for people to connect more deeply within themselves or with themselves. So I also do tapping, for example, emotional freedom technique. Sometimes we do like a constellation. We do some energy work, but it really very much depends on what people also need, what they're looking for. And I think, we all have like a different point of entrance. Perhaps, you mentioned also like opening the heart, like, as you said, like for you, like the flowers were like a very important key point. But the funny thing is that they've always been with you. So usually what I try to do with people is to look at, what do you know? What are you open to? Because that is usually, from where you can take it, to go more deeply within. You will not go where the resistance is, because it's kind of hard, because then it becomes like a struggle, and people don't want to anymore. But if you can like enlighten this aspect where people feel like, okay, that I feel something, there's a connection, something happens, even if it's like a small thing or it's subtle. That's like the point of entrance, like then the heart can open, and then you kind of take it from there.
What do you think, how people can notice the first signals that they not going to right direction? I mean, they're not listening. They're going apart from heart. Like, for example, like me, I was going just apart from my heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think it can be like a bunch of symptoms. Because we also tend to, when we get, sick, when we get ill physically, of course, it can be a physical cause, absolutely. But in many cases, there is at least also like an emotional cause or a mental cause or a spiritual cause, So whether it is like, for me, for example, I used to have a lot of pain in my throat because I wasn't speaking my truth, because I wasn't being fully me. I wasn't expressing myself as I wanted to. So this area was really like saying, hello, please pay attention to me, And then I can go to 5 to 10 doctors and they can all tell me, like nothing is wrong. Nothing can be, perceived here that's going wrong. But then I really have to turn within. It could also be, it can be something as small as a headache. It can be a burnout. It can be depression. It can be a lot of anxiety. I think usually when we perceive a lot of anxiety, stress, we kind of grow up and we live more from the head and not so much from the heart space and the soul and the intuition. So I think that's also kind of a sign. But usually when we feel like uncomfortable to some extent and we're like, not really flowing with life, I think that's a clear signal that something, could be adjusted.
It's very nice that you don't feel the flow with the life, because we are created to be happy and feel that, abundance and wholeness inside every area. That's what I believe. We're not created to suffer. So if you're not happy, we're again having, this expression like, you are not a tree, you can move. I understand now that is testing. Do you really want to go that way? Because to stay in your comfort zone and do nothing, it's the easiest way. Am I right?
Mm.
Then you're starting going and you're having these obstacles or challenges, I'm calling. So then it's mean you're going the right way.
Mm.
But I'm so much in this, this spirituality in good way that I would like to connect heart, our minds, that they don't, run around. And of course, money, because it's create stable life everywhere.
Mm.
But that's what I'm trying to always, to say people, don't give up so easily. If you have the dream, if you feel your calling, if your heart is screaming, or you're not sleeping during the nights and 101 time asking what to do, where to go next, just take one small step per day. Just at least sit for 10-15 minutes, try to clear your head, your minds. And maybe you would like, as you said, you would like to paint, or you would like to listen to music, classical, but just don't use the phone, don't use the social media. Just face conversation with yourself. That's what I'm calling. Try many things. During this year, I tried, so crazy things. What I just tried to discover myself again and again. I tried yoga, I tried running, what I haven't done before. I just tried to discover what I love to do, what is exactly that way. So, and also, I'm not saying that it's finished. Transformation life, or there's growing, is always continue with an ongoing process. Yes. So 10-15 minutes with yourself, just with yourself. What your advice will be for, how to start?
I love how you say, like, the conversation with yourself. It's like listening to the inner voice also, right? Which can be actual words, but it can also be like feelings or thoughts or whatever is going on within. And I think, as you mentioned before, we used to be deaf, our hearts and our souls were screaming, but we really hear it, so it requires the getting still. So that's indeed, as you mentioned, like trying to get still, I think is absolutely fundamental. And trying to get out of the comfort zone in a safe way, because it can feel for some people very unsafe. That's why we stay in the comfort zone, because it feels a bit uneasy. I mean, like, well, they call it the comfort zone for something, for a reason. So, but you're not going to leave the comfort zone unless it gets uncomfortable, right? So, I would also say, like, try to do small things that are a little bit different from what you're used to. Challenge yourself in a way that, helps you kind of maybe discover a new side of yourself, or, kind of, what's the word, like, revive a part of you, maybe like from childhood, like, oh, I remember I love flowers. For me, for example, oh, I remember like classical music is so important to me, so I have to listen to it very regularly. And then that helps like to connect with yourself more, and it helps you to go to potential challenges that we may have, which also make us stronger, right? The challenges.
What is not killing us, making us stronger.
Yes, and I think also, because sometimes people are a little bit like, scared or something, like, oh my God, I don't want to go through the challenges or whatever. But, it's not necessarily that dramatic. For some people it is, like it can be very heavy burnout, or it can be, like very, complaints that are very, or symptoms that are very hard to deal with, but not necessarily either. And as we know that, oh, this what it, the symptom can actually maybe says something about my connection with myself, then you don't have to go this whole path perhaps to all of the doctors and the this and that. You can check with yourself as well. Of course, you need to go to doctor if you feel like something is very wrong.
Definitely, we cannot, like by just talking, if it is some serious problems. What I believed, and we were talking about energies, I believe in the mindset, because working with my people in financial literacy field, I understood, very quickly that it's not enough people to teach them, how to put, money in correct, pockets or shelves. Most important is to help them to change their mindset, because we have plenty of stereotypes from the life, what we're bringing from our parents, childhood, other people, about standards, what we are pushed to keep all the time, and so on. So that's why I realized that I need that connection about mindset, and positive thinking is also very important. Like, I believe, like scientists saying, like placebo effect, then you healing yourself with your minds. So that's how strong we are. We just sometimes don't believe that we are so powerful as a creature, as a human being. But if we manage to connect our mind and heart, and then everything falls into places, even the money. Money is energy again. So this is stability, wholeness, and abundance in all areas. That's what I'm always talking. Because mindset, your attitude is very, very important. It's probably somebody can think that, oh, it's easy for you to talk now because you already know what you're doing, and you are happy that you find out your true calling of heart. But I personally think it's not like easy, but I would like to share. I would like to share my vulnerability moments, like when I was, in big pain, that my heart was screaming. And even psychologists, is nothing wrong if you're looking for help, because asking help in this strength in you, not weakness, this first point. And also I listened your podcast, where you nicely said, I would like to say, like, use your vulnerability as a tool.
Yes, and I very much understand that, because it's the same for me. I feel very much like by actually sharing your story, for example, or really asking for help, it really opens your heart. It opens your heart because you come in touch with your human nature. With the fact that we all basically have things that we struggle with, because we're all, people. And I feel that as we use this vulnerability, we allow our vulnerability to be present. We allow more parts of ourselves to be present, and we become more embodied. And that actually helps us a lot, on our journey, because as we kind of draw on all of our parts, not only the parts that look strong or whatever, beautiful or whatever, we learn that these more difficult parts to deal with, or the wounds, actually are also treasures, because as you mentioned, and as we also spoke about, some of these symptoms actually hold the keys to progress, but we could supposedly, like, for me, it has been headaches and migraines that have been very, very heavy for me. And I can do two things, or I can like feel completely debilitated by them, or I can see, okay, maybe there's a message here. And then as I kind of allow that message to come through, and it might show me my more vulnerable parts, which, I not necessarily want to look at, but as I allow myself to see those and to listen to them, I can actually heal myself. I empower myself. And that's where I feel that vulnerability becomes a healing tool. Also because, when we are in our weaker moments, so to speak, we become like, for example, like I recently lost a family member, which very much, it makes you feel smaller, in a way. It also brings you closer to your heart because it reminds you of how much love you have inside for the person, how much compassion, how much, just all of these qualities that we have. So that's how I feel that and I know there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of guilt, and there's a lot of, putting up, masks and all that. And I know that myself, um, there's a lot of that. But if we can really try and find that way back in, where we can also be vulnerable and recognize that as an actual strength, it helps us move forward so much.
It's really very, very deep things, and thank you for talking about that, because as just mentioned, people feel a lot of shame to talk about their painful things, but we need to do that. And I hope that our interview helps to other people to stop afraid to speak openly, as holding everything inside is doing harm, first of all for ourselves, for our heart. Like you mentioned very good moment that people are wearing masks, and we know that, and just nobody want to accept that is, like reality, like life, like a show, like I said, like sparkling surfaces everywhere. And the standards what we are given from the society is affecting us. Myself, I was many years like pushed to keep and follow the standards given by other people, from one organization to another organization, even from my family expectation. But very deep inside, you know that you are that sensitive and nice and kind person, and you would like to share love with other people. But what you're getting from other people is just sometimes pain, sometimes betray. So you don't feel loved enough. You're giving yourself for them, but they just spitting on you. So, and it was many times in my life like that. And then you just starting to protect yourself and trying to be like others. And believe me, I was repeating many times for myself that, oh my God, why I'm so sensitive. I would like to take my sensitivity, like I was asking one doctor, can you do surgery of my sensitivity? And they started laughing, And now I understand that this sensitive way, this my pain inside me, is my strength now to do business and help other people, because I found out the power that my empathy, helping people to find connection between minds, heart, and money. So, have you got any wish for our listeners?
What would I like to wish for others? Definitely more vulnerability in a safe way, and more connection with self, and feeling their inner beauty as well, their essence, their purity. That's what I wish for everybody.
And if you can give like 3 steps or advice how to start to hear the true calling of your heart.
Well, one would be get still, as you mentioned as well. Try to find a spot or a circumstance where you can actually connect with yourself and hear yourself more. That would be one thing. Another thing would be go back to what really moved you, what you liked as a kid. Go back to your youth, because that's usually where the keys are. Like, what would spark your attention as a kid? As kids, we are very pure. We don't, worry about adults and their opinions and expectations. So what would spark our attention, that moment, is probably very connected to our essence. So as we can, connect with that again as adults or adolescents, um, that can really help on our journey, like very, very, very much. And the third one would be, get vulnerable today with someone, like just a person that you trust, a person you've been safe with. It can even be an imaginary conversation with someone that you trust, whatever works, but get vulnerable about something that you don't really want to talk about, but you're like, I'll give it a go. That would be my 3 tips.
Amazing. Probably I will try that third one today. And my sincere wish for our listeners will be, first of all, start from positive thinking about yourself, because you are truly blessed and unique person in this world, and you are here to get love from surrounding. Don't let about yourself think any less. You are deserve to be loved, and find the love and find your true calling of heart. And also the second, probably, if I need to put, just try to explore everything as a child with a little bit joy every day. It's no matter who you are. You're working in a bank, in corporation, company, or you're just self-employed, or you're just farmer. Try these small moments to explore the world as a child. Just bring the joy every day to your heart, and your heart will start talking. That's how my flowers helped me to find out myself back from somewhere where I was not very happy. So I really appreciate your time for listening today, and I will be very thankful if you send me feedback, what you would like to hear in the future. I really appreciate, Steffi, your time from this exotic country, Peru. Hopefully one day I will visit it. And also I will leave the details about Steffi in the comments if you would like to speak with her in one-to-one and about this intuitive painting or professional psychology help if you seek. And myself, of course, I can help about your personal growth and as a finance coach, because I'm truly helping based on my own experience to find connection between your minds, heart, and money. And all the contacts you will find below in the chat. So thank you everyone one more time. So it was Voice of Liberta, and I wish you liberate your inner voice and find your true happiness. Thank you.